I mean, just this laning presence is so incredibly strong, and no reason or no wonder why we see Cthulhu here in the first pickup for Dawn.
I keep hearing so much about this hero leading up. We've been, but let's be honest. We've had phases in the past where, a hero gets picked up, it does very well, and then all of a sudden people call OP like this hero is just going to be so strong and stupid. It needs to be nerfed. But really, it turned out, that wasn't the case. People found counters, and eventually, life moved on, and we didn't see the heroes much. Like heroes like Prisoner come to mind, like Ravener come to mind. And I have to say that. So I'm kind of wondering, is Cthulhu going to be one of those, or is it just simply, is he just really that strong? I know we've talked about this before, but I'm still, I guess I get to see it firsthand here. So that in itself, maybe I'll finally be shown why this hero is so strong. I mean, the hero is very, very strong now, but I wouldn't call him, quote unquote broken. But that is because they nerfed his Dream of Madness. I mean, the Dream of Madness was incredibly stupid, to put it simply. I mean, it goes through Magic Immunity, so you can't really just, there's no counterplay towards it, and so therefore it's broken. But after the nerfs, which were definitely needed and useful, it made use of the hero being used in competitive, and not so much of a broken. Alright, so we were going to see that. You see Torture, obviously his teammate so far. Hag and Engineer being picked up here even by MOES Tavern. So kind of a different start for them too. I mean, Wretched Hag first pick. That in itself is just a little bit of a... Really? I mean, is that a hero, especially nowadays, that we see as a very high potential? It seems like the main in itself, though, is all over the place with that said. So I don't know if there's any expected right now, but...
No, I think you got a point to make, though. I mean, we haven't seen this hero in a long time. I mean, we have seen it, here and there. But I mean, before, the old meta was we used to see this hero picked up every single game. But there's the affiliate pickup that was banned in the last game, and Ravenor. I mean, these heroes we haven't seen for somewhat of a long time. Coming back into this kind of meta, it seems like. Yeah.
Ophelia into Ravener. Go figure. I'm just sitting here talking about referring to Ravener, and hey, we happen to see him here. So just again, small sample size so far of this post-patch in terms of matches and everything, but it really does seem like it's just all over the place as far as heroes to see and whatnot, but that's a very, very good thing. So, Flux, Bubbles, and Rhapsody bans coming out. Can I even still look back at those initial bans? You see why Cthulhu got picked up. Magnus being banned out with that final ban by MOES Tavern. That's another one of those. I mean, Magnus was played by them last game, and frankly didn't even do that well. But they even referred to taking Magnus out against this Legion team, knowing that they would possibly pick up Cthulhu, which they did. So, you also got to look at that a little bit. Magebane ban, yeah. Take away that hero.
I mean, with that Magebane ban as well as Tremble, I mean, the two kind of heroes that I know Certes loves to play is Oogie and Bloodhunter, and both of them are still on the board. So we might even get to see perhaps some Oogie and Bloodhunter this game. We'll have to see though.
Oogie. Do I gotta get my song ready?
He loves that hero, man. I mean, we might not see it here. We might see the Bloodhunter instead, because although I mean, Oogie would make sense as well. I mean, there's a lot of teamfight heroes already picked up, like the Torture, like the Ophelia, kind of the pushing style of lineup, and Oogie would sort of fit that a little bit better than Bloodhunter. But we'll have to see for the fifth and final pick.
I'm thinking back to last game too, as far as Certes, the captain here for Don. The heroes that he banned again, he banned the Gunblade. What was the other one? It was Clanks was the other one. So I mean, not touch this game. Is this MOES' turn to show us the power of these heroes?
I don't think so, because Ravenor and Wretched Hag are picked up. I mean, you could send the Ravenor mid and the Wretched Hag Suicide, and then as a result pick up like the Clanks or Gunblade. But I think that the sort of core heroes are already been picked up by now, and so I don't think we'll have room for Clanks or Gunblade. But I mean, I might prove me wrong. I might sort of send the Wretched Hag Suicide, but I think Wretched Hag Suicide does a lot worse than Bubbles, and in game one, Bubbles got absolutely destroyed in the laning phase. So I don't think that's why we're going to see Wretched Hag Suicide. But again, I may be wrong.
All right, well, I hope you are wrong, because I want to see that Clank stamina. I mean, I guess we're already going to see Cthulhu Font, so that's good enough. Kraken, yeah, coming out there, yeah. So that probably does secure the fact that we're not going to see a hero like Clanks. But that does kind of bring up a question. Now I assume, though, we're going to possibly see a jungler here coming out from the Hellborn team. Maybe something like a Tempest would be good synergy with this team.
Or another second secondary support, though, to be fair as well.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, there's not a lot of heroes that are sort of left on the Bonson's jungle. I mean, they do have a Tempest still available, which would make sense. But yes! I was right!
I was even gonna say, if you actually call Oogie and they do pick it up, that's mad props. And
I am the bet. I'm joking.
It is a great feeling, though, isn't it? When you go on especially such a branch limb like that one. Yeah, Oogie was not played in CIC. I'm not surprised to see that. That stat there. Master of Arms, a final pick. Now that's a fun pick. No, but obviously Oogie's the one that we're really... Now, again, we see this pick. A lot of people are going to have memory flashbacks to Tralfamador, this hero, and it not working out too well in the end. So...
It was playing against a Mageman, which is honestly the biggest counter to Oogie. So, no, actually, there's two counters to Oogie. Bloodhunter and Mageman, both of these heroes not on the Hellborn side. So I don't think Oogie will have such a bad time. In fact, I mean, he could even dominate. There's not a lot of lockdown for Oogie. I mean, once he picks up a Strong and Head, he's kind of got a free roam, honestly. So hopefully we'll see a big game here come out from the Oogie.
Indeed, indeed. So he's going to be played by Certes. Of course, played the Mage Bane last game. Didn't die that whole game, so going to be hoping for that. Now, is something like the Icon of the Goddess the pickup for him to go?
Yeah, I mean, he goes sort of more of a standard item build. I mean, compared to, say, Magebane with, the
no
Elder Parasite, a little bit more a bit more out there. But, I mean, for the Oogie pickup, he normally plays it rather standard, at least for the early pickups, like the Icon of Goddess. But, I mean, after that, we might see a little bit of variation, but for the most part, sort of standard in terms of Oogie players.
All right. So, you see now, as far as setups to go, too, I mean, the Hellborn team, they could even possibly do some kind of aggressive tri-lane here. Against the Legion side. You got, obviously, 4 heroes down here, but would that be out of the question to you? A possible tri-lane setup with the Ravener?
It would definitely, but only if they block Aphelia's jungle. I talked about before, like, if you're going aggressive jungle against a defensive pseudo jungle, you need to block the camps, otherwise the junglers like Ophelia can really shut down the tri-lane quite effectively. So they need to make sure to block as many camps of Ophelia as possible. I mean, Ophelia does have at least one Rev Ward for now. She might pick up another one because she saved the 600 gold, which she's meant to do. But there's one block coming up from the Engineer, but I'd like to see a few more, actually, maybe double block the hard camp, which we might see actually over here, but it looks like it's going to be only one block in the end, and I don't know if that's going to be enough. I think both of these wards are quite easily countered, seeing as, I mean, Hellborn went all the way through the jungle, so the only way they can really block this hard camp to the left is really from above. So I feel they should most likely know that. And on the other side, I mean, it's pretty obvious that Hellborn will want Rune Vision, so I think both of these wards are kind of obvious to be countered, and if they are, I mean, I think this Trina could already have a bad start already.
Now, as far as the Legion team is concerned, do they keep Torturer down here, or do they make the quick adjustment as soon as they realize? I mean, maybe to the middle lane? Well,
as long as if Ophelia can really take use of her jungle, which she already has, she spotted the first Rev Ward, which is kind of obvious. So I'm glad he sort of spotted that, and most likely he's going to get the next one as well. And if he can actually block or get control of both of these hard camps, I think Torturer should stay down there because I think they can contest this tri-lane with Ophelia.
All right. We'll see how that ultimately plays out right here. Again, Torture kind of still roaming around a little bit, but in fact, got a ward of sight down off in a pretty good spot. I don't know if that was seen being placed or not, but no Rev Wards currently on the Hellborn team, so even if they did, they will have to just deal with it for the time being. So some good vision, though, definitely coming out in favor of the Legion side to see what the hell is going on. The middle lane matchup you got for now. Oh, they are going to be going in, actually. Ravener, he's taking some good damage. Oogie lands his nuke, but not enough damage for the kill. Especially at level 1 of that, the Tarquake is what it's called, of course. And you need to get multiple charges of that before it's really going to pick up a kill. So, but was that the Hellborn team initiating themselves, I'm guessing?
Yeah, they got a ball lightning onto Oogie. But I mean, Oogie's so strong and so tanky already. 644 life compared to the 492 on Torturer. So, I mean, if they are going to initiate, I think it has to be Torturer. So, Josian on the Torturer has to be really careful of his positioning.
Now, I'm not an Oogie master by any means, but it seems odd that he goes W with the second ability. His passive, the Kindled Fury, gives him the mana back and everything on auto attacks. W, especially this early on, is he really going to have mana for it to matter?
It makes, I mean, it looks a little bit strange, but actually I think the way Certes plays this is that he really does like to run on, you sort of keep a lot of mana, and then when you need to, you sort of burst them down. So I mean, the E is really only good for sort of regen and sort of holding mana in the lane, but I mean, with the way sort of he plays it, he sort of goes all out in terms of damage to get that one kill and then regens up later in that sort of sense. I mean, if you're 1v1, yeah, I think maxing or even leveling up the E at least would be the better sort of place, but but leveling up just max damage is probably the way to go here.
Yeah. So now, of course, the hero that I'm really excited to see throughout this game, Cthulhu Fun here at the top lane, using his hook him once again and again. That's just one of the many changes that happened to him in that patch. The hook him now applies damage over time, or it's more just like cone damage, as you see right there. That's the animation coming out. So for those that may be unfamiliar with that for whatever reason, yes, that is one of the new features of this Cthulhu font. So he is having a good time. But actually, bottom lane, yes, we got a lot of cluster going on right here. Oogie's still alive. The Tar Quick goes up. He gets the bloodless kill. The Minotaur also blocking a little bit. The Creep's blocking Ravender completely. That Minotaur, if he gets the stun off shortly, no, he's not going to be able to use it again. But Oogie, again, barely survives, and this time turns around for a bloodlust kill. And look at this team synergy right there. He's going to get ported back by Ophelia, and then regen and eventually make his way back to the bottom lane. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, this tri-lane, they've gone now several times, and it's just, if anything, now backfired on them. They've gotten bloodlust, and they're going to go another torture once again right here. Oogie comes up in the last second. Tarko comes out, that Nanobator reuse. The chain reacts in the last second. Ravender's in trouble. He wants to kill, but at what cost right here? He's going to end up falling most likely. Yes, he will. And Master of Arms cannot do much else about it. Oh, that's when you know it's just falling to pieces.
Yeah, I mean, and look at the reason why this Tri-Lane for Legion is working so well. In Ophelia unblocks both of these hard counts in the first 30 seconds, and like I said, I mean, one block is not enough, especially if you put them in the most obvious places to ward. And honestly, I mean, I could definitely credit Iceland Gogo for counter warding the wards, but at the same time, I think honestly it should be Engineer and Master Arm's fault really, or to blame for that. They're not really blocking Ophelia's jungle enough to sort of stop him having an impact in this Tri-Lane already.
Man, Oogie, look at the lane setup and everything. Wouldn't be surprised if he was going to struggle. That's not the case, though. He is the top farmer in the game, actually, at 310 gold per minute. Obviously, being 2-0-0, including the Bloodlust kill, definitely helps with that. Not the highest creep farm, but definitely doing good enough. Back to the top lane, Cthulhu Font 23-6, Wretched Hag 17-3. So Cthulhu Font is winning this Suicide lane up here. I mean, Suicide softly. It's a 1v1 matchup in the end. I think I know the answer, but is that surprising?
Not really. I mean, this hero is so strong, like we talked about before. But I mean, one sort of good thing maybe you could say for Hellborn is that I think Philippine does prefer to be in a 1v2 matchup because he can secure a lot of easy kills on the secondary support. But as there's no second or no support up there in the first place, there's no way he can secure the kill. But in the end, he is winning the 1v1 matchup, which is kind of not to be surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, Hag is a somewhat of a strong laner, but I mean, Cthulhu is just another level pretty much.
Yeah. I'm looking at the Dream of Madness. Honestly, I'm kind of just going over the ability again. I know it has that change of the fear and everything, but just making sure it's so the move speed as well as the attack speed also does get lowered, like it was before, kind of, but in a different sense. You use it. Okay, just making sure right there. You see
it's kind of yeah. Sorry, so it's like an AOE puppet show almost, as well as movement speed and attack speed. So yeah.
Okay, that's when you put it that way. I mean, that's just OP, but. Ophelia only level 3 still, but has a Skeleton King right here, in fact, and gonna harass a little bit with it, or at least even scout things out. It almost looks like, but she's gonna now just farm this double stack creep camp in the meantime. Gonna block the haste turret actually with the Skeleton King, and good job of that because actually allows Loso to easily pick it up or bottle it up. Even gonna use it right away, and he's gonna jet on out of there as Kraken tries to harass him. Oh, Loso might even go for a kill. In fact. He needs to be careful with this. He's kind of tempting fate right now. The Kek's not going to miss. Understandably, maybe should have waited for that charge shot. Might not have mattered anyways. Here we go, though. There's a Shadow Storm activated. Nice charge from Kraken. There's the note with the rocket shell. And then boom goes the Dynamite. He gets the kill. Is he actually going to live?
Oh,
yes, I love it.
4v1, man, and he gets that. So insane. Players coming from Labyrinth.
That was ballsy, but it paid off big time. Yeah, and not only did it get the kill, but it distracted 4 heroes. For all that time.
Yep, that's true. Oh man, that is so frustrating as well. I mean, because the Hellborn, or particularly, Master Arm's like, oh, why didn't you help me? Why didn't you help me? And you're like, oh, well, we tried to. But he's just too fast to really catch.
Jeez, that's gonna be So again, the start here for the Hellborn team. Now, last game, Moe's Tavern did have a decent start and kind of just fell apart after the big top by mid. Different story here. They're having a slow start, to say the least. More so, Don's having a great one themselves. And again, this just goes back to them just playing very well, like we saw that first game. So, all the credit to them, no doubt. And Moe's Tavern has their work cut out for them. You already see them kind of making some adjustments right here. They send Ravener middle lane currently, but you're a level 4 Ravener against a level 7 Lodestone. That in itself is pretty damn scary. especially when he has a Shadow Storm back up. I would be very worried if I was Ravener. Top lane, they're going to go for a kill. Oh, the charge misses! The trample goes out from Cthulhu. He should be fine. The mitigation, if anything. Maybe not, actually. Release Kraken comes out and hold that thought, actually. I thought he was for sure going to get away, but the Release of Kraken keeps him just close enough. And enough damage to get the kill right there. So, actually, good chase in the end, and definitely a needed kill for the Hellborn team to come out.
Yeah, and I honestly think Hellborn should just sort of disband this trial lane, because I mean they lost it fair and square. It's understandable, but now they need to really rotate. Maybe the Kraken or Hag down there to just send Suicide and try and focus on the middle lane and the top lane, because this bottom lane is completely gone right now. They're going against a level 7 Oogie, and a level 3 Torture and level 5 Ophelia. They just can't compete. But there is an invisible Kraken, so maybe they can at least try and get some kind of gank up here.
Well, this is pretty scary, actually, for the Legion team. Kraken, now, I will say he doesn't have his ultimate. That could be the biggest difference maker. In the meantime, the Master of Arms gets bursted down. The Ball Lightning's going to completely miss as well. So what could have been scary for the Legion team ends up easily working out for them. And then they just go back to farming. So, Kraken, unfortunately, spending a bit of time down here ultimately to do nothing. And that just goes back to something that the Hellborn team really just doesn't need right now. They need to get these kills, but it's just not happening for them. So, good play by the Legion side. And actually, they're going to go back in once again. Yeah, the Tarquake, excuse me, will miss the first one. The second one, though, not so much. Now with the Sculptor King Nuke, he pops the ultimate, and Nuke's gone crazy. And Ravener will fall in the end. So, late ultimate pop. Probably not necessary in the end, but still. Easy kill on a Ravener. So, the GPM chart's not the friendliest right now for Moe's Tavern.
Yeah, and this is what I mean. That there's no way they can really work a tri-lane down here. Yet they keep coming down here, and they're coming down here again. A decision I completely disagree with. Maybe they just try. They're going to try and win the tri-lane, but at the moment it's just they've lost it. There's no way really to get them back. So they should just forfeit the lane and make sure it doesn't get any worse. I mean, they're only 4,000 gold down, excuse me, and 4,000 experience down. I mean, yeah, okay, just cut your losses almost. Don't try and be greedy and try and win the trial, because it's only going to make it worse for you.
Yeah.
But in the end, they are going to maybe give it one last go, perhaps. But I think this could end up backfiring for them.
Oh yeah, this is definitely getting out of hand very, very quickly here for Moe's Tavern. So if something doesn't happen big for them soon, then this most certainly could be one of those one-sided kind of breakaway games. But I mean, at the same time, the GPM charts here, it's not the most friendly for the Hellborn team, but it's not necessarily taken out for the Legion side either. However, killing a Wretched Hag could help with that. Lodestone and Cthulhu come together to ultimately set up that kill. Cthulhu level 9 now. Bottom lane in the meantime, back down here. No stun or anything from Ophelia, but that might not matter. Zogi's running it with that ulti form. He puts on the Tarquake, so he's healing up quite a bit, actually, with the mana use. Down goes Master of Arms. Lodestone assisting with that. And now Ophelia, though, she's being chased in the background. It's already a hat trick, by the way, though, for Lodestone. In the midst of it all, Tarquake nuke on a Ravener. Ophelia will fall to release the Kraken, holding them in place. That rocket drill, though, big plays from Lodestone. He locks him down long enough. Gets the kill to Ravener. They're going for a genocide here, basically, as Kraken's trying to run away, and he will be fine. So, but Lodestone coming in at a very clutch time right there, and ends up with a hat trick when it's all said and done. So, yeah, about the Hellborn team needing a big fight to happen for them soon. That was the opposite, really.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the game's still not over. Yeah, okay, they are down. They've made their mistakes in the bottom lane, but please just send the Suicide down here. I mean, I've said this like 3 times, and who is TPing? Not again, Ravener, please just go middle lane or top lane and send a Suicide down there. But I mean, maybe it could change if they can get some good warning. Maybe deward this ward of sight here from the Torturer, and maybe get some good vision here onto the side as well. Maybe they can stay down there. But at the same time, I mean, when it gets into the mid and late game, I mean, sort of staying in the long lane in itself is a really, really big mistake, because your position is so out there. I mean, it's not the biggest of deals in terms of the laning phase, but it's coming out of the lane phase now, and the more they stay down here, regardless of how much they're feeding, it's just a sort of mistake and sort of very risky play, without a doubt, anyway.
I mean, they're still going for it. It's definitely your classic case of kind of banging their head against the wall and hoping that it finally breaks, but your head's going to continue to hurt in the meantime, and it may just never break, and then, well, you'll just feel dumb. So Oogie does have a Ring of Sorcery on top of those Ghost Marchers that he's upgraded his boots into, so has a very aggressive and active playstyle. Again, Ring of Sorcery is kind of like the Electrician effect. It's almost like a heal for him in a sense, especially with that Primal Surge buff of his that he pops with his ultimate. So Lodestone, he has to have something else. Is someone's being delivered portal key? Yeah, he already has his portal key. on the way. 12.5 minutes. Bottle, Steam Boots, Portal Key, back to the bottom lane. Here we go. Primal Surge. Here's some Oogie Boogie, baby. Ravender trying to run away. He gets the ball lighting off in a torture, but the big astrolabe heal. And Ravender will fall. Bat Blast in the face. Hits multiple heroes. Pretty good one. But the follow-up is just not simply there. And so he has to run away. And Oogie will just go back to farming as Cthulhu Fought now even joins the party. And this should be an easy tower push in favor of the Legion team. So you want to sit here and give positives for the Hellborn side for Moe's Tavern, and you know, any bit of a still will have at least this going for them. It's not, they don't have that silhouette happening for them this game. It's looking grim.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, I mean, Legion are playing so well, like I said before in Game 1, and they're showing it in Game 2 even more so, perhaps. I mean, everything, it just makes sense in them. I mean, their movements, their sort of ganks, everything, perfect execution. And, I mean, honestly, it's very, very scary, particularly for any other teams most likely going to be playing them.
Yeah, I agree. This is quickly becoming a team. Like I said, I want to say I recognize them from previous seasons, even from Season 2 at least, like as a team that, oh, we saw them in gold maybe now and then, but if they keep up momentum like this could be a team that not only gets a Diamond Division, but definitely be a team to keep an eye on as far as entertainment value and as far as their success even. A quick kill on a Wretched Hag right there. And now they're just going to go finish off the tower. So like I said, there are plenty of these teams, though, that with this season are going to start to get that exposure, no doubt, going into it. And, you know, it just continues to be pretty cool to see that. So, Lodestone, oh, that was a... I think he tried to rocket drill back. Oh, wow, that's... the rocket went all the way to him at base. That was hilarious. With the Ophelia. Yeah. That Ophelia port, man, you can do some crazy things with that.
Yeah, I know. You can actually, like, port back in like a hag and then blink back in as well. And the Gladiator Showdown,
bubbles,
little things like that. It's quite cool. Bubbles, yeah. But yeah, I mean, that is the decision Hellborn chose to run. I mean, whenever you run an aggressive tri-lane, I mean, you definitely have the chance to make a big impact and you know, get ahead a lot, you know, really early on in the game. But at the same time, it's one of the riskiest things you can do in terms of laning phase, and as a result, it can backfire, and as it did in this game as well. But I mean, at the same time, I mean, the way, you know, Legion have drafted this and played this, as we mentioned before, is sort of perfect. And I think Oogie fits the perfect sort of build-up as well. One of those heroes that likes to get around early, get a lot of kills, get involved in team fights, and in this sort of pushing style of lineup as well for Legion, this perfect hero. Middle lane. Yep,
level 4 Engineer's not going to work out. He eventually just gets bursted down. Aggressive tri lanes did benefit their team with a 55% win rate in 102 games. I mean, it's at the same time, though, it's not much above 50%, so slightly advantage, you know, sure, on the overall stats, but obviously there's a lot of factors that would come into play with that. But I also want to clarify something here. I see that there's even a chat argument kind of going back and forth. Sure, 6-minute delay, but whatever. Cthulhu Font's W, again, I wasn't even 100% sure on this. Hook him. It does do mitigation, but it has to be from the front of him. So it has to be from the shield where the shield's coming out of. So it's like the opposite of Armadon, I guess you could say. If you attack his back, you actually just go through the mitigation, whereas if you attack his front, it'll be mitigated. So anyways, just kind of a small thing there. As I'm rambling on about that, we got a huge fight coming out right here. I think buybacks even happen. Yeah, Kraken buys back. He comes back in, but still the Legion team is all alive. Ophelia's touch hasn't even been used. As I say that, it goes off and just keeping them all alive. And it's a near genocide. And I think Moe's Tavern is going to be eyeing that concede button here. In fact, there you go. They press the button. It's a matter of now going through and calling out the GGs. And that will be an official victory for Dawn, and that means 2-0 in favor of Dawn. And they're moving on to the winner bracket winner bracket finals.